All right, we're here with Mayor Richard Berry here in Austin at South by Southwest. We're here to talk about what's going on in his city and what brings him here to Austin. So, Mayor Berry,
Good to see you.
good to see you too. I was going to ask, so what made you decide to come to South by this year?
Well, Albuquerque and in New Mexico and Texas, obviously being right next to each other is important from a logistical standpoint. Always like to talk to the mayors in Texas, but really what I wanted to do is come with a group of mayors and really immerse myself in a diversity of thought. And that's why I like coming to South by Southwest. That's why the U.S. Conference of Mayors is so important. We get together, there's Democrat mayors, I'm a Republican mayor. We talk about issues in our communities, many of which are the same, many challenges are the same, whether it's homelessness, job creation, um, education. Everybody has a common set of challenges. And so if we can get together and talk about the opportunities that come from those challenges, take those good ideas home, share the ones that we have from our communities, it adds value for our constituents. It helps us to govern.
Well, let's talk about homelessness first. It's certainly an issue that has been put on the map with Albuquerque's Road Home program, I believe it's called.
We have Albuquerque Heading Home.
Heading
Yep.
Home, pardon me.
Yep, and we have a Better Way program as well. So we were able last year to reduce unsheltered homelessness in our community by 80%. Since I took over as mayor, we've reduced chronic homelessness by 40%. By HUD's definition, we've gotten to functional zero on veterans homelessness in the city as well. And so I do talk to the mayors here about how we did that through Housing First models, our panhandling program called There's a Better Way, where we hire panhandlers for the day, pay them cash to help clean up the city, connect them to services, mental health, substance abuse services, whatever it is that they need, try to help them off the corners. But then there's mayors here today I was talking to that have some initiatives that they're working on that will certainly add value to what we're doing already.
And on the homelessness programs that you've had, I mean, it certainly caught the eye of the New York Times. You did a TEDx talk recently.
Yeah.
What would you say? How has that impact been for Albuquerque, and what has it meant nationally and beyond?
Well, it's a testament to the city that I govern and serve. I mean, I serve a great city full of great people, and they allow me as a mayor to try things that are outside the box, take a little different approach because some of the old approaches weren't working. So it's nice to have the positive national attention on our city for a good reason. But really what it does, it's a humbling as a mayor that I live in a place that cares enough to really step up and do the heavy lifting on some of the most persistent and social issues we've had in this country. So it is good. It helps us in other ways. We've learned through this process that the collective impact approach is much better than tackling problems individually. So if we can all team up as a community and work on difficult issues, there's really nothing we can't do. And so it builds courage and it builds confidence in your community at the same time.
And given less recognition nationally, but something I was very impressed with was a lot of the work you've done around education, whether it be the Homework Diner or some of the P3s or public-private partnerships you've built around connecting folks with jobs. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of that?
Well, and it's never me, it's we, right?
Yes.
It's Running Start for Careers is a collaboration between the city of Albuquerque, our city council helps fund it, the business community that provides industry curriculum for credit in high schools, C&M, our 2-year institution of higher ed in Albuquerque, our community college, if you will, and our school district. And we bring industry curriculum in to talk to kids from construction to laboratory sciences to hospitality, financial services, filmmaking. We're a big film city in Albuquerque. And we teach these kids what they need to know about this industry while they're in high school. They take that, they connect back into the classroom. They know now why they're studying geometry. They know why they're studying English, why it's important to put 2 sentences together, why it's important to show up on time, do what you say you're going to do. We have a 98% on-time graduation for the 1,000+ kids that have gone through this program. And a lot of them are coming out of Title I backgrounds. They have challenges with poverty, a lot of them. And they go to high schools that maybe have a 55 to 60% graduation rate. So it's just something we do as a community. We come together, once again, collective impact. Let's get the business community, the educational institutions, the city. I'm happy to have crafted it at the city. It came out of the mayor's office. Now when I leave office here in 10 months, we'll pass it on and hopefully the next mayor will pick it up and take it.
And one of the things I've noticed is your community is also fairly focused on equity and ensuring structures that create equity, whether it be gender, racial, or otherwise.
I'll be on a panel tomorrow talking about racial equity. and just talking about the difference between equality and equity, and those are two different things, and they're both important. So we've spent a lot of time in our country talking about equality, and that's super important, but equity's not there. And so we need to tackle that issue as well. Happy to report that Albuquerque is the best city in the country for gender equity. Women make less than men in this country for doing the same work, and that's not right. So we took a very initiative-driven approach to this. We went through our purchasing department. We offer companies that can show us that they take gender equity seriously and pay equity, and we'll give them extra points on projects that they bid for the city. So once again, after 53 years of federal regulation that says you have to do it, and when women were making 23% less than men in this country for the same work, it wasn't working. So we have a carrot approach versus just a punitive approach and a regulatory approach, and it's working.
One more question. South by is all about innovation, all about connecting leaders. So who are you excited to connect with here? Is there something that you've seen or are excited to see along the way here?
Where do you start? I mean, I got my apps just blowing up on my phone, all the interesting things we can do. We're talking about transportation a lot in Albuquerque right now, and transportation I think is a key issue. A lot of the mayors are excited about the new president talking about infrastructure packages. We want to put some structure around that. We want to maybe try to give some Main Street insights to what that infrastructure looks like. So we're trying to not just talk amongst each other, but we're trying to talk to our friends in Congress and in Washington and the presidential administration about, hey, we're all on board as mayors, we can help you with this transportation initiative. Certainly the social issues are always important. I'm interested to learn about that. The disruptive nature of technology is something that I think mayors, especially the next mayor in my city, we're already top 10 in the country. We're already the 6th most digital city in America right now. We just passed San Francisco. So we've got our act together from these data sharing, but from a transparency standpoint, we put a lot of our open data sets out there. But I think in the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years in particular, it's going to change the way we provide services in our communities. All this driverless technology that you see on the cars, well, that's going to go to deliveries, which is going to impact the private sector. It's also going to affect how we pick up your trash in the morning. It's going to affect how we deliver mail. It's going to affect how we don't deliver mail, but the U.S. Post Office. So government's going to have to understand that it's a very positive thing to be able to save money and all these resources that we'll be able to save because we can have some automation and some technology and some efficiencies. We got to find something to do with folks that are doing that today. So right now you talk to mayors in these industrial cities and they don't have a lot to do for the person that's mid-50s, people my age. They did the same thing their whole lives, and now automation disrupted their way of life and their living. That's going to happen in government. So how do we do that? How do we tackle that in a smart way? How do we set the foundation so that future mayors can launch from what we're learning today, provide better services for better value for our community, make those tax dollars go farther, which is all good stuff, but let's not forget the human side of that.
Well, thank you, Mayor. We appreciate your time and enjoy the rest of the time here.
Thank you for having us.
Great seeing you.
Appreciate it.